around the association are continuing to react to Kobe's retirement. Kevin Durant spoke out on this subject Monday at shoot-around, expressing his distaste for how the media has treated Kobe this season. Quote, "I did idolize Kobe Bryant. I studied him, wanted to be like him. He was our Michael Jordan. I've been disappointed this year because you guys, the media, treated him like bleep. He's a legend, and all I hear is about how bad he's playing, how bad he's shooting, and it's time for him to hang it up. You guys treated one of our legends like bleep, and I didn't really like it. So hopefully now you can start being nice to him now that he's decided to retire after this year. It was sad the way he was getting treated, in my opinion." Stephen A., what did you make of KD's comments?
Well, first of all, KD has the right to his opinion. And it wasn't that far off, to be quite honest with you, because there were some things being said about Kobe Bryant that appeared to be some piling on. So Kevin Durant is not completely wrong about this. Let's put that out there first and foremost. But where I have a problem with what he's saying is that, once again, we have a situation where a guy where the kid gloves have basically been applied to him by the media, is calling out the media, and then he doesn't have the decency to specify exactly who he's talking about. Like, there were a lot of people in the media that were excoriating Kobe. There were a lot of folks that were not. I remember myself and others pointing out how this poll by our very own network was ridiculous. It was insulting considering the body of work that this guy had put forth. Now, Skip disagreed to some respects because obviously Father Time was scheduled to kick in. We had to see what it was. And then, you know, truth be told, at the age of 37, when physically his body started failing him, we saw the obvious. But they were making these prognostications about Kobe in terms of rankings based on numbers, and that was all that there was to it, as opposed to really getting to see how healthy he was and how, you know, physically gifted he was going to be or was going to fail to be. So there's a lot of people that were very supportive of Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant gives the impression that everybody was against him. And that's simply inaccurate. That's just false. The other thing I'd like to point out is this. You know, when he talks about guys getting, you know, treated like garbage, what you're doing is you're ranking greatness compared to what it once was and compared to the guys who are presently great as of right now. You know, at some point in time, you know, Kevin Durant needs to recognize that we're going to start looking at him, because Kevin Durant, to me, is one of the top 3 players in the world. You still have no rings. You're one of the top 3 players in the world. We're talking about Russell Westbrook more than we're talking about you. You're one of the top 3 players in the world. And we're busy talking about the Golden State Warriors. So what is going to happen then? When we start asking questions about Kevin Durant, is he going to start saying that we're disrespecting him? What we're doing is we're recognizing your level of greatness and how that level of greatness should produce more than we're seeing it actually produce. And that's really what this comes down to. I totally agree with him when he says that there were some that treated Kobe like straight garbage. You know, I'm not going to use his word, but that's basically what he was saying. Kevin Durant is right about that. But it wasn't everybody. There's a whole bunch of people out there that got a lot of love and respect. And the one thing that Kevin Durant also was disingenuous about was this. There were a lot of people out there on the court against Kobe that never wanted any parts of Kobe, that suddenly were laughing and wanted him to stick them and wanted to take it to him and wanted to give it back to him because of the years he spent giving it to them. We're reporters. We notice. We see how cats are coming at him. We see how they notice how far the time has kicked in. We see how they notice that he's no longer 27. He really is 37. And physically, he wasn't able to do what he once was able to do, and how teams, as a result, was taking advantage of that, and how players themselves were taking advantage of that. So if Kevin Durant is going to open his mouth, tell the whole story. Because there were some people out there that was setting the table for Kobe to be insulted and disrespected by the media by how they were treating him on the basketball court when they were performing against him. Tell that story too. Or just recognize the fact that this is what comes with the territory, particularly when you're one of the greatest ever, who is Kobe Bryant. When we saw Michael Jordan with the Wizards, we mentioned how he wasn't what he used to be. When we saw Shaquille O'Neal in a Boston Celtics uniform, kneeling and keeling over the court, couldn't even stand up straight, we looked at him and said, he's not what he used to be. When we saw Kareem, when we saw Magic, when we saw Bird, we said, they're not what they used to be. We're recognizing and appreciating their level of greatness. That's all folks are doing. Some of them went a bit too far, but certainly not most, because anybody who knows the game of basketball appreciates Kobe Bryant every bit as much as Kevin Durant claims he appreciates Kobe Bryant.
By the way, this is like anecdotal evidence, so we could go all day about what you heard, what I read, what you saw on television, what I heard. But to me, I never heard anybody pile on to Kobe Bryant in the last few weeks, the first few weeks of this season. I'm sorry. Everything that I heard in the form of criticism of Kobe was all in the context and of the tone of sadness, how sad this is. I could be wrong. Maybe I missed somebody unfairly excoriating what was left of Kobe Bryant. I might have, but I don't know it. And so I think Kevin's out of bounds here because Kobe Bryant was shooting 20%, or is shooting 20% from three, and he was a shell of himself. And look, we do have a job to do, and we couldn't look the other way and hope that fans didn't notice what was left of Kobe Bryant. And in the end, his decision to announce his retirement this week, it validated whatever criticism was out there, because even Kobe said, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be ashamed of how I'm playing like this anymore. So now back to Kevin. Stephen A., as you know, Kevin Durant has had a long history of taking shots at the media. And it drives me crazy because I have so much respect for Kevin's potential greatness, his gifts, his personality. He has such a likable personality when he wants to be liked. And repeatedly, he bites the hand of the media that has tried to feed him, that has tried to embrace him and love him and respect him as obviously a potential Hall of Famer, but a potential multi-champion down the road pretty soon. And yet, again and again, he takes shots. He took a shot at me when I consider myself his biggest fan. You've had your own issues with him. And then the classic issue was Kevin Durant at last year's All-Star game, in which he tells the media, many of whom voted for him for the previous year's MVP, that y'all don't know nothing. I'm using the word nothing. You know what word he used about basketball. You don't know nothing about basketball. Those are all the guys out there listening who voted you the MVP, Kevin. I don't get it. It's like he's obsessed with criticizing and attacking the media. And I don't know, Stephen A., maybe he's a product as a young and now sort of a middle-aged player of that Oklahoma City PR staff that works hard to control the media more strictly than anyone in the country, any other NBA franchise tries to control its media or the national media. Maybe that's what's going on. But here's my point. One reason to me that Kevin Durant is not yet a champion is his skin is too thin. He takes this way too much to heart. He should be better than this. Why should Kevin Durant, in all his greatness, care about what anybody in the media says about him or Kobe Bryant? It should not matter. He should just play. And yet, to me, it shows insecurity on his part. It shows weakness on his part. And it's why I think he's not come up big in the playoffs. We can go back to the Memphis series a couple of years ago. He came up very small without Russell Westbrook, and I was very disappointed in him. And I think he's come up small a number of times in big postseason moments. And we know about all the issues he's had with the Oklahoma City headline writer and went back and forth about that. But he has not won even with Russell Westbrook. And my point is, in the end, this is why. Because he spends way too much of his energy and focus on people who shouldn't matter to him, on members of the media. What does it matter? He's Kevin Durant. He should rise above this and forget about what people are saying about him or Kobe Bryant.
Well, I can respect where you're coming from, Skip Bayless, but let me say this in closing. Let me say this. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but none of it matters. I don't care if Kevin Durant likes me. I don't care if he likes you, if he dislikes us all in the media. I could give a damn. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players in the world. He's top 3 to me. Right now, he's averaging 28 a game, 28, 7, and 7 on 52% shooting from from the field and 47 from three-point range. Skip Bayless, these are MVP caliber numbers. We've been talking about Steph Curry. We could talk about Russell Westbrook. We could talk about Kevin Durant. He's one of the greatest players in the world. As far as I'm concerned, regardless of how he acts with the media, I find him to be a very good person. I think that he's losing it a little bit with the temper tantrums at the media from time to time, but I think he's a good person. I think he's a good brother. I think he's an incredible role model for the most part. He conducts himself appropriately. I think he's one of the great ambassadors in all of basketball. But in my opinion, clearly he wants our attention, and I'm going to give it to him for this one reason and one reason only. I know Kevin Durant is a great, great player. He's one of the best. But last time I checked, when you're this great, we gave LeBron hell until he won. I don't see any championships on Kevin Durant's resume. Not one. I saw him show up in the finals, and they lost. I don't see one championship on his resume. Now, I picked him to go to the finals, and he's balling, and Russell Westbrook is balling, and all of this stuff. I'm tired of all of this stuff about Kevin Durant, the media. I don't give a damn. You don't like us, so what? I'm not losing any sleep. We ain't having Thanksgiving dinner together. We ain't exchanging Christmas gifts. It don't mean anything to me. Kevin Durant wants our attention. You've got it. I see the points. I see the numbers. But I see an 11-7 record. I see us talking about Golden State. Where's the chip? We held LeBron accountable. It's time for Kevin Durant. You wanted our attention. You got it. Where's the chip? You got the money. Got the Under Armour offering you $265. You got Nike matching the offer. You're looking for a new max deal from Oklahoma City. You got Russell Westbrook as your teammate. You're getting endorsement deals. You're on every commercial. You got a new one with J.J. Watt. Beautiful commercial, by the way. Where's the chip? Where's the ring? That's what I want to see. Kevin Durant wants our attention. Let's give it to him for all the right reasons. Let's stop talking about him complaining about the media. It's a free country. He's allowed. Let's start talking about his numbers. We know he's going to do that. If this were LeBron, we'd be like, where's the ring? Where's the chip? That's what I want to see from Kevin Durant. You go ahead and talk. I'm watching to see if you're going to deliver. I picked Oklahoma City to represent the West in the NBA Finals. Where's the ring? All this other stuff don't mean anything. You don't have to like us. Don't lose no sleep over him. Win. Get it done.
All right, let's leave it there. We have to get to break. The word on the street is that there's friction in Mile High, and it will only be heightened when Peyton returns to 100%. How does the quarterback situation play out in Denver? Ryan Clark will join us on the other side of the break to discuss.